History is a vast river, flowing through time. Some observers have noticed a pattern in this mighty river. They suggest that great changes often come in cycles. One such idea is the 500-year cycle. This theory proposes that roughly every half-millennium, human civilization experiences a profound shift. Old ways of life crumble and new forms of society begin to rise from the ashes of the past. This is a grand rhythm of collapse and renewal. Looking at history through such long cycles can be very useful. It helps us to see beyond the immediate events of our own lives. In this exploration, we will look at several key moments. These moments are spaced roughly 500 years apart. By looking back at these 500-year intervals, we might find clues. This is the question we will ponder as we trace these cycles of the past. Around the year 500 AD, a mighty power was fading. The Western Roman Empire, once a symbol of order and strength, was collapsing. For centuries, Rome had dominated much of Europe and the Mediterranean. Its legions, laws, and language had united diverse peoples. But now, internal weaknesses and external pressures were too great. Central authority crumbled, provinces were lost to migrating tribes. The grand infrastructure of roads and aqueducts fell into disrepair. The period that followed in Western Europe is often called the Dark Ages. Trade routes became unsafe and commerce declined sharply. Great cities shrank in size and importance as people moved to the countryside. Learning and literacy, once widespread among the Roman elite, became rarer. The Christian church grew in influence during these uncertain times. Monasteries became centers for scholarship and agriculture. Bishops often took on roles of local leadership, filling the void left by Roman administrators. The fall of Rome was not just an ending, but a painful and complex transition to a different kind of world order. As the first millennium AD drew to a close, Europe was a different place. The intense disruptions of the early medieval period were gradually lessening. The last waves of major invasions, particularly by the Vikings, Magyars, and Saracens, were subsiding. While life remained hard for many, a greater sense of stability was emerging in some regions. Populations began to grow slowly. New lands were cleared for farming. This period around 1000 AD was not one of grand empires like Rome. Instead, it was characterized by a more localized and decentralized system of power. This system is known as feudalism. It became the dominant social, economic, and political structure in much of Europe. Kings granted land, called fiefs, to powerful nobles. In return, these nobles pledged loyalty and military service. At the bottom of this structure were the peasants, or serfs. They worked the land, providing food and labor for the lords. Feudalism provided a measure of security and order in a time without strong central governments. The world around 1000 AD was thus a period of quiet but significant transformation. Section 4, Rebirth and Reach, the transformations of 1500 AD. The year 1500 AD stands as a pivotal moment in history. Europe was experiencing a remarkable cultural and intellectual movement known as the Renaissance. This rebirth involved a renewed interest in the art, literature, and philosophy of ancient Greece and Rome. Scholars, artists, and thinkers looked to classical antiquity for inspiration. This led to extraordinary achievements in painting, sculpture, architecture, and literature. Humanism, a philosophy focused on human potential and achievements, gained prominence. Simultaneously, this era witnessed the dawn of the Age of Discovery. European explorers, driven by a desire for new trade routes, wealth, and knowledge, embarked on daring voyages. Major innovations further fueled the transformations of this period. The invention of the printing press with movable type by Johannes Gutenberg in the mid-15th century was revolutionary. It allowed for the rapid and widespread dissemination of knowledge and ideas. The period around 1500 AD was therefore one of profound renewal and dramatic expansion. Section 5, Our Digital Age on the Cusp of Tomorrow. As the 20th century closed and the 21st began, humanity found itself immersed in another period of breathtaking change. The era around 2000 AD is defined by the digital revolution. The development of the personal computer, the internet, and mobile technology has fundamentally altered how we live, work, and communicate. Information that was once scarce or difficult to access became available at our fingertips. Global networks connected billions of people instantaneously. Entire industries were reshaped, and new ones were born from this technological surge. Social interactions and cultural expressions found new platforms online. This technological leap has also massively accelerated globalization. Economies became more interconnected than ever before. Capital, goods, and services flowed across borders with increasing ease. Multinational corporations gained immense influence. Cultural products from one part of the world could quickly reach global audiences. We may be standing on the cusp of a new era, the outlines of which are only just beginning to emerge from the turbulence of our times.